Hey, welcome, medical group owners. Today, we're going to be diving deep into the critical task of financial management tailored for the unique demands of your healthcare business. So, by the end of this training, you're going to be able to harness QuickBooks Online and other tools to manage your practice's finances effectively. So how, right now, just tell me, how do you currently manage your financial tracking in your practice? Um, share in the comment below, a green heart if you're satisfied, or give me a broken heart emoji if you think there's room for improvement there. And don't forget to drop your location, where you're coming from, in the comments. Okay, let's get into this. Introduction to financial statements. We talked about financial statements in a previous video that I had, so I'm not going to get into detail here, but I want to reiterate here that you have to have your core financial statements, preferably or usually on a monthly basis. That's your income statement, your balance sheet, and your cash flow statement. If you're keeping your books properly, then it's going to be easy for you in QuickBooks to print those statements out. If you do what is, if you're keeping on an accrual basis and you're able to close out the month and doing whatever adjusting entries you need to do, or your bookkeeper should be able to do this, or your accountant, or whoever's doing your books, close the books for the month and issue the financial statements. And of course, you don't want anything to be changed after you issue these financial statements. That's the final. They're set in stone. You close the books, and when you close the books in QuickBooks, that means that you set a date there that transactions before this date can no longer be entered. That keeps your financial statements from changing. This is a big problem in QuickBooks, that people who don't understand how to close books properly, they change history by entering transactions that happened in previous periods after you've already made the financial reports. Don't do that. You want to be accurate in your financial analysis that we're going to be talking about here, and these financial statements need to be final statements, and they're not changing. So make sure that you close out the books every month and you issue these financial statements. So once you have these financial statements, now you can do a financial analysis. So you need to learn to calculate financial ratios and what they mean in your practice. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to become a financial expert. You can actually have somebody put this together for you that understands these financial ratios and put them into maybe into a dashboard. And a dashboard would give you visual elements showing you the information that you need to make the decisions. And you just need a basic guidance on that and what this means when you have certain numbers in these dashboards. So you want to have maybe Excel worksheets or Google Sheets. It doesn't matter. Utilize these worksheets to calculate these financial ratios for you. So you don't have to be a math expert. So the ratios, the key ratios, there are a lot of different ratios that you can use. And depending on what the goals are for your particular business, work with your accountant and decide which ratios you want to be able to be monitoring. And that depends on what the key financial goals are for your business. What you feel are the key indicators of the health of your business. And so you're going to have things like liquidity ratios. There's a current ratio and a quick ratio. This is going to show you the liquidity of your business and how strong you are from a liquid standpoint. That means that you have the cash that you need to operate the business. You have the working capital that you need to properly operate the business. And these ratios, if they're anemic, then that is an indicator to you that you've got to make a decision on how you're going to improve the capital, working capital available in your business to make sure that you don't get into trouble with cash. Another set of ratios is your profitability ratios. And these are the ones that most people pay most attention to. But there are gross profit margin, there's operating margin, and there's a net profit margin. These are some of the key profit ratios. And there's a lot of medical practices are totally ignoring gross profit margin, which is important. And they're missing this, and so they're not making good decisions. So you want this to be in your dashboard as well. There's another key area that you want ratios, and that's your solvency. This is a little bit different than the liquidity, but it's similar. But instead of focusing on the cash, it's focusing on your equity. So this is like debt to equity ratios. What is the relationship between the amount of equity you have in your business and the debt that you have in your business? And this is going to tell you that if you had to liquidate your business tomorrow, would you be able to do that without filing bankruptcy? Would you be able to do that without having no money left over or not being able to pay off all the debts? Those are things that you want to know. So those are financial worksheets that focus on the ratios. But you also want to be able to look at to visualize what's going on, and there are a lot more tools, what they call them business intelligence tools, that you can use these days that will put all of these types of financial information into more visual formats to help you see and understand better what is going on, to interpret what's going on. So what we want to, so the objective here is that you want to be able to identify financial trends, and you want to be able to assess the health of your business through the ratios. So you're going to do a trends analysis. So obviously, visually, you're going to have these charts that are going to show you trends in the numbers. So each of these financial ratios are going to have trends in them as well. So you're going to see month over month what happens and how and what direction are you headed in this. Is it steady, or is it declining? Is it increasing? Is it seasonal? Those kinds of things. So you can make decisions based on those that information as well. Trends are important. You want to see it over multiple periods. You want to take your detailed ratio analysis, and you also want to compare that to the industry specific benchmarks. And this is something you have to get from your financial advisor, your accountant, or your anybody who's advising you in this area that would be knowledgeable about your industry and the ratios in your industry. How do you compare to other businesses like yours, other medical practices like yours? Are you performing better? Are you performing worse? That gives you some information about what kinds of things you might need to do. You might need to make decisions to change things, and you might also be able to get feedback on whether or not what you're doing is actually helping you perform better than other medical practices like you. So another area here is the strategic level of this. And the objective here is that you want to be able to evaluate internal and external factors that are affecting your financial health. So you want to take a look at the internal situation. How are your operations affecting your finances? Is there high employee turnover? Is there poor management, performance management with employees? Are employees happy? Are they disgruntled? Are you stressing them out? Are you maximizing, 100% of their capacity, which is not a good thing because you burn them out? Those kinds of things that you're going to be looking at. Strategically, you want to be strong for the long term. So you've got to be able to look at the strategic pieces of this, and the financial information that you get and the financial analysis that you do is going to inform your strategic level decision making. That strategic level is not just about the money, but it's about the business as a whole, and how you compete in the marketplace, and how strong you are for the long term. And so those are internal issues, but you also need to consider the outside, the external economic situation, the regulatory factors, the things that are affecting your business that you don't have control over. You've got to respond to those things, and you've got to make sure that you make decisions inside your practice that are going to help you deal with those external factors. So you've got to monitor that as well. So when you're looking at your financial information and on your dashboard, and you combine that with what you're seeing in the news, what you're seeing in the economic trends, and the regulatory things that are happening, now you can see, you can kind of determine, okay, how's this going to affect me? You can usually tell if it's going to be a negative impact or positive impact. And now what decisions are you going to have to make internally to be able to handle that? Look forward with that. Don't respond and react to things that are happening, but try to be ahead of the game, and know what's happening, what's coming down the road ahead of time, and preparing for that so that you can be. So this is why, one of the reasons why it's so important to have these dashboards and do this financial analysis and have accurate financial statements that you can do accurate analysis with, that are going to inform you of these conditions. Having poorly kept books destroys all of this. You can't do any of this if your books are not giving you good feedback and accurate feedback on the financial condition of your business. That's why who's that real estate guy? Anyway, I can't remember his name. He says that that his bookkeeper is the most important person in his business, because without the bookkeeper, he would not know whether he's making money or not. So keeping good, accurate books is extremely important. So what you do after you have all these findings, of course, then you've got to make decisions. You've got to discuss these things with other peers. You need to have other people involved. You can't do this alone. You need to have other people involved, other minds and other perspectives that can see what's going on with your practice. Maybe it's things that you can't see or refuse to see. A lot of people have blind spots. I think I've been doing this for decades, and in the business owners, not just in the medical field, but in every business, the owners always have a blind spot. And it tends to be that blind spot is their Achilles heel. That blind spot is what is holding them back, causing the problems that they have. And sometimes those blind spots are so serious that it's going to put them out of business. So you need to have other people involved, have an advisory board, or just be have mastermind group. Be part of a mastermind group where you have other minds that are similar, that are peers to you. It can be business owners in other businesses, or they could be also other doctors that own their medical practices, which would be more specific. But also having perspectives from other industries can add a lot of insight that you might not see, or any doctor might not see in the business of the medical practice. So you want to collaborate with these other people in helping you to make these strategic financial decisions. So you want to have interactive discussions with them, have meetings, share your key findings, and get feedback. And provide feedback to others as well. You can help each other. This is what mastermind groups are for. And they're excellent for getting strategic level insights and making strategic level decisions, helping you to formulate the strategy that you have for your medical practice. You may be wanting to grow. You may not necessarily want to grow, but you want to be solid and have a long-term successful medical practice, not necessarily growing into a big business, a big medical group. You may just want to make sure that you have better, and maximize your financial performance. Whatever that goal is, whatever the vision, the strategic vision for your business is, for your practice, you can get this help to help you enhance that, to help you find your blind spots. So all this is strategic level stuff, and you need to have a dashboard tool. It can be a spreadsheet, it could be a business intelligence tool. I know Microsoft has tools that will do that. You can have information in multiple worksheets, lots of data, and have it roll up into one tool that gives you the analysis that you need. There's lots of tools out there, and with artificial intelligence on the scene here, those tools are going to become much, much more powerful over time. And if you have access to someone who understands artificial intelligence and can program software, program your spreadsheets, maybe program your business intelligence tools to use artificial intelligence to enhance the intelligence behind the numbers, those are going to become much more powerful. And you want to take advantage of the technology that's available to do that, because it will give you a competitive edge and will make life easier for you as well, because you'll be able to come to these conclusions faster. One last thing here in this area is, now you want to implement what you've decided to implement, and you want to monitor these key performance indicators with these ratios and numbers that you are watching. So you want to see what's happening. You want to apply the changes, and you want to monitor the results of those changes. And this is a scientific approach here. You want to experiment with innovations in your practice, in your things that you want to change to improve. You want to implement that one thing, monitor the results of that. If you've got a positive result, fully implement that and go on to the next problem, or go on to the next thing you want to improve, and do that and make continual improvement. This is a strategy that will help you constantly improve your business. But again, I have to emphasize, you can't do that effectively if you don't start with the foundation of having good, accurate books. So having QuickBooks Online is is a simple tool, actually, one of the more simple accounting software out there that you really don't need more than that for a medical practice, because it's not that complex of a business. What's complex in the medical practice is the third-party payer system and tracking the revenue and managing the revenue side. That's a whole different story here. What I'm talking about is managing. You get the revenue into your accounting software by integrating with it, with your revenue tracking, your practice management software, and getting the numbers that you need into your accounting packages, which could be QuickBooks Online, which is what I would recommend because that's the direction QuickBooks is going. Software as a service online. They're making more improvements in that area. It's improving faster and better than the desktop. They're putting their emphasis on QuickBooks Online. So it's becoming more and more powerful. But you keep your books in this software package, and you automate that as much as you can to streamline operations, and you integrate that with your revenue cycle management from your practice management software, and make sure that these books are accurate. Make sure they're kept up. Make sure that all of the accounting procedures, bookkeeping procedures, and that are and controls that you have in place to make sure these books are accurate and they stay accurate. Then you're going to be able to do this. This is this is the next step after you have accurate books. If you're doing this with inaccurate books, you're going to make bad decisions, and you're going to get yourself in trouble. So with all of that said, you also need to do a strategic financial review periodically, and you need to use your peer group, your mastermind, or what your advisory board or your board of directors or whatever it is in your situation, and do constant reviews of your strategic approach and your strategies and what's working and what's not working. And so these insights are going to help you with that and help you make better decisions and improve your overall financial health. So just to summarize here, what I've covered here is that you want to have essential financial ratios based on good, accurate financial books. Then you want to use modern tools to improve your financial management, and you want to make better informed decisions with that accurate data, and you want to leverage accounting software like QuickBooks Online and integrate that seamlessly with your practice management software to give you the data that you need to make these good decisions, and use what you find to enhance your practice's financial strategies, and do an ongoing analysis and make adjustments in what you find. I know that's a lot to digest there, but this is a higher level from what we have been discussing. But this is something that when you're building on good books. So if you are not confident in the accuracy of your books and how well your books are being kept, that's one of the places where we start. We will start there, and we will then help you build up to this level of good financial strategic management. So if you want help with that, that's what we're here for. Be glad to reach out, and we can do a free consultation. And if we're not going to, if it's not something we can help you with, that's great. If so, maybe you'll walk away with some value. My goal is to help improve medical practices owners' situation, because I know that a lot of you guys are not doing what you need to do to have good financial systems in your practice. This is also going to help you save money on taxes. And I know, you're probably concerned about taxes, and just about everybody's concerned about the taxes. If you want to save money on taxes, you got to get this information right, and you've got to have good strategies. So with that said, let's just close with a quick prayer here. And I appreciate you taking the time to listen to what I have to say. Heavenly Father, grant these leaders the wisdom they need to manage their resources prudently, to be good stewards, and give them the vision to see the opportunities ahead that they can take advantage of and that they can use to fulfill your purpose for them. And I pray, Lord, that their practice would prosper under your guidance. And in all these things we pray. Amen.